Alright, what's up guys? In today's video, we're going to be breaking down all of these settings in Modern Warfare that matter the most, that are going to affect how the game is going to change in your benefit. So, if we could smash 100 likes on this video, I will give away a $10 PSN card or Xbox card to somebody who comments down below what console they play on. Just leave down below what console you play on, as well as make sure you guys like the video and subscribe, and we'll be picking the winner via the comments section. So like I said, in today's video, we'll be taking a look at the best console settings for Call of Duty Modern Warfare. This game has recently just come out and has a bunch of new stuff in the game that was not in previous Call of Duties. As far as the first thing I'd like to discuss, it is going to be that list of things which is new in Call of Duty, which, you know, obviously previous, you had your sensitivities, you know, you had your all the previous stuff that's been around in COD is around for a while. The first two things I want to talk about, which I think are the most important, is going to be your aim response curve type along with your aim assist. This is two things that have recently been updated completely that we have never seen in Call of Duty. As far as the aim response curve type, you have three different options: standard, linear, and dynamic. For those of you that aren't familiar with basically what all this stuff does, it's going to affect your dead zones of your controller. Standard is what I currently play on. I am currently working on putting a video together breaking down all this stuff completely in depth and going to give you guys my honest opinion of what is better, standard, linear, dynamic, as well as the aim assist. So like I said, I currently play on standard. Linear is going to give it so your reaction's a little bit faster. So if you move your thumbstick to the left, it's going to react a little bit faster. And dynamic is basically full control. It allows you to be accurate more easier. So dynamic is definitely probably going to be the most recommended because it is basically going to allow you to be more accurate easier. So if you have really good aim, you know, you got some pretty premier thumbs, you got some good thumbsticks, and you think you have a pretty good shot, dynamic is going to be the wave. As I said, I'm currently developing a video going to break down this all in complete full effect. So you guys, if you guys want to see that video, just gonna have to wait a couple more days while I put it together. And the last part is gonna be the aim assist. You have standard, precision, and focusing. The difference between standard and precision, there's really no notice. As far as the focusing, it said in the description it's for noobs. So if you're a good Call of Duty player, do not change your aim assist off of standard. That will also be included in the video I'm going to be uploading on both these settings, testing all three to see what is actually the biggest difference. Now, as far as a couple of the other things that are in the game, weapon mount is something that is kind of new. I personally, you know, it's pretty good because it allows you to peek around corners and that kind of stuff, gives you an advantage over opponents. I'm not a big fan of using it. You know, I like to rush and I like to push people, but there's definitely an advantage of the weapon mount where as far as you get behind a desk or a chair or something, you can mount your gun, or specifically on the map in this gameplay, you can mount your gun to a window, which is going to allow you a little bit of accuracy. Your ADS speed's a little bit slower, but it's something that's going to benefit you a little bit. I personally play with the double tap L2 to mount, so you guys can see on the screen now all of the different options as far as what you can actually set. You can disable it, which is not going to allow you to ever mount, as well as ADS and melee. So ADS is going to be just one time you just mount. If you're on a wall, if you're on anything, you can do it. It's something definitely going to make your accuracy, in my opinion, a little bit less because you could randomly mount even though you don't mean to. Double tapping ADS is what I find most, because if you actually want to do it, you just double tap the controller, and ADS plus melee, you got to press two different buttons at the same time. So I just find tapping the button twice is the easiest for me. And then the next thing we're going to be taking a look at is the behaviors. There's three different behaviors in this game, which is something that's been around for a while. All of them are set to hold. Your ADS aim down sight behavior, you definitely want to aim down sight while holding it that way. You know, if you let go, you're going to automatically aim out. So if you tap it, your controller is going to aim in. It's going to stay locked in. A lot of these settings are previously in Fortnite. I feel like they took a lot of the settings from Fortnite as far as a couple of the settings in this game, as well as the equipment behavior. I have hold, and then the slide behavior, I have a hold. So that's going to allow you to be more in control of all that kind of stuff. Then we have the depleted ammo switches. Basically, if your gun runs out of ammo in this game, they obviously guarantee you to have a secondary weapon. So I 100% have this enabled. If you be unloading a 60-round mag on somebody in a crazy 1-1 fight and actually run ammo, it's going to automatically switch to your pistol for you, which in my opinion is an advantage. So now what we're going to be taking a look at is the last and the simplest part, which is your ADS and your regular sensitivity. So your ADS sensitivity is something, obviously, if you guys are a Fortnite player, This is around in Fortnite. It was in Black Ops 4 actually. That difference between where you could only set it from 1 to 0.75 to 5. I personally played 0.75 because when you're aimed down sight, you want to have your gun not kick. You remove it, you want to have less. So I personally played 0.75 because I wanted my recoil, my ADS down sight speed to be as minimal as possible, if I could try and hit as many shots as possible. That's something that was very good in Black Ops 4, in my opinion. In this game, as you guys can see on the screen here, I played 0.9 and I played 0.95 in the high ADS. Obviously in this game, the recoil is a little bit more, so I definitely would recommend lowering it a little bit. I personally find that playing on 0.9 versus 1, I do notice my shots are a little bit better. And as far as this is going to be affected by your horizontal and your vertical, I personally play 7.6, which is a high, and then obviously a medium high. So definitely something I would highly recommend is I do recommend having one difference in your horizontal versus your vertical. Your horizontal, you want to be able to look around faster, left to right, up and down is going to affect your recoil as well as your aim. So you want to have that a little bit less, so it automatically helps you when you're ADSing. So those are all of the settings for the general as far as the controller. Now the next thing that matters most is going to be in your general settings, which number one is brightness. In this game, you guys know how dark it is. You know how hard it is sometimes to see in corners. I've seen they've been talking about how they're going to fix a lot of these corners and make the darkness go away. I personally play on 0.6. I believe 0.5 is default. So I have my brightness turned up. And then another thing that's probably one of the most important is going to be your motion blur. They have world motion blur as well as weapon motion blur. You guys can see on the screen here the difference. You do not want your screen to be blurred. Obviously, if you're blurred in real life, you want to be able to see as well. So you want to be able to see the best possible. So I turn both blurs completely disabled, as well as the film grain is the last part. I think by default it's on 0.25. You guys can see a difference on the screen left to right. On the right is where it has a little bit of film grain, which is not going to make your game as easily seeable. So you want to make sure you have that on 0 of 0. So those are the 12 best settings. Settings that I think affect this game the most. Like I said, if you guys want a free PSN or Xbox card, just comment down below what console you play on. Make sure you guys like the video. Make sure you guys are subscribed. As I said in my previous video, if we hit 1K subs, we're going to be doing a SCUF controller giveaway. So if you guys want a free SCUF, just make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. And I'll be uploading the full in-depth aim assist, aim response curve type video sometime soon. So just stay on the lookout for that. I think that's one of the most important videos as far as the settings, but I feel like I wanted to go a little bit more in depth on it because I think it is a video that requires a little bit more attention than just telling you this is what I use. So we'll upload that very soon. So thank you guys for watching today's video. I will talk to you guys in the next video.
Station ready to deploy.